off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? Ooh, what is it, man? And this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is off the script. I sit here today, September 22nd, 2018. I sit here today, and in about a week and a half, 2 weeks' time, for the first time in what I thought was going to be many, many, many more years, I will finally get a chance to see playoff baseball. The Atlanta Braves have clinched, well, their magic number is 2, but they all but clinched the NL East in 2018. I didn't think that was going to happen, at least till 2020, with all the bright young prospects that they have. And even now, even though there is some level of excitement clinching the NL East, we were the masters of that domain for so many years. This is doomed to fail. They will not advance past the first round. I know for a fact. I know this team better than anybody. They always set you up for disappointment. And I truly don't believe that they are playoff ready as of right now. A lot of these teams in the National League, they aren't really like a Red Sox. They're not out there and they're not dominating, right? They do have a chance to at least pull off a series win here this year. But the fucked up thing is, the teams that they're going into the playoffs with this year. Let me look at, I was looking at the MLB app this morning for you baseball guys out there. Chicago is on top of the Central. The Dodgers are on top of the West. And right now, as it stands, we got Milwaukee and St. Louis with the wild card game. And Colorado is a game and a half behind Milwaukee and St. Louis. The Braves can't beat the Cubs. The Braves can't beat the Brewers. And the Braves can't beat the Cardinals. And the Braves have had a tough time against the Rockies this year. So I don't know what they have to do. I don't know what they have to do going into the playoffs, but I just wanted to say that this year, after being a fan since 1990, through the ups and mostly the downs, we have playoff baseball once again as the Braves win the NL East. Their magic number is 2, but they're 7.5 games up. I doubt they're going to blow this one, and if they do, I think I quit altogether. But playoff baseball is back in Atlanta, and I'm very, very happy to see that. Maybe we'll pull off the upset, because a lot of people are proclaiming that this team is very hungry. They are very exciting, and they truly, from what I've watched this year, they have a never say die attitude. The game is not over until the game is over with this team. So I hope their starting pitching can hold up. I know their bullpen was bolstered by getting Johnny Venters back, but we'll see what happens, man. It's the fucking starting rotation that I just don't have faith in. It's not stable enough for me. There's some screws loose there, so we'll see what happens. What is stable enough is this very podcast, man. This is Off the Script, episode 240, part number 2. We uploaded yesterday. We talked about Rey Mysterio coming back to the WWE. He just signed a 2-year deal with the WWE, and he has a unique out clause in his contract where at 18 months, at the 18-month mark, if he is not wanting to re-sign with the WWE, he has this unique out clause around the 18th month of that 2-year contract. So if he wants to stay, he could certainly stay and re-sign. If he says, fuck it, if he's one of many that I am sure are in this company that are frustrated with creative and say, listen, you guys have done nothing with me creatively. You are god-awful at what you do. I am taking my talents somewhere else. And by that point, maybe the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes will have their own promotion up and Rey Mysterio could go work for them. But Rey Mysterio signed with the WWE, more than likely will be at SmackDown 1000, the 1000th episode of SmackDown Live. And on yesterday's show, I booked perfectly how to bring Rey Mysterio back. I would feud him with Randy Orton, and there are rumors right now that when WWE heads to Saudi Arabia, that they are thinking about putting him versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a proverbial dream match for the United States Championship. So if you guys want to hear all that plus so much more news on part 1, that is linked in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. What I also did yesterday, if you guys have been watching and keeping tabs on the Mae Young Classic episode 3, that is on the channel right now as well. Please go check that stuff out. I've been loving the Mae Young Classic so far this year. Toni Storm versus Ginny in episode 3. That was a great match. We've seen the return of Caitlyn. We talk about all that. Mia Yim versus Allison Kay in the main event of this week's show. And I can't wait for next week's show, man. We got Io Shirai making her in-ring debut for the WWE. She's now a part of NXT, and she's been touring with NXT, but her in-ring television debut in a WWE ring, man. Very, very exciting stuff. So if you guys want to keep up to date and you guys want to get my point of view from the Mae Young Classic, you guys can certainly go check that out as well. Link will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. I also covered Monday Night Raw, as always, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT with that brilliant main event with Ricochet and Pete Dunne. And honestly, I started the NXT review off with a rant this week. Not about the show, but about the people who don't really appreciate what NXT is doing. And they always find some reason to complain even when there is no reason to complain. And NXT doesn't give us any reason to complain whatsoever. So if you guys want to go check that out, everything you need is in the annotation. I have also been uploading for you video game guys out there, and I was playing it last night, and I continued it, and I recorded some more, man. So you know it's going to be coming at a regular pace. You guys are going to see part 2 of Spider-Man on Sunday. And part 1 has already been uploaded, almost 900 likes, man, on that. So I hope to keep that up. Hope you guys are still going to show a level of interest in that like you did for part 1. But I did record part 3, and we've seen the introduction of Mary Jane, MJ, in the story. So it's going to be good, and that's going to be coming at a regular pace, man, because I did literally every side mission up until this point so far. And I'm about to fight the first major boss outside of Kingpin already in the game. So if you guys want to go check that out, if you guys want to see what the new Spider-Man is all about, it's going to be there as well, man. So please go and check that stuff out. Very, very fun. I'm already 25% through, and this is probably one of my most favorite superhero video games of all time. This is absolutely a phenomenal piece of work, man. It is so great. It is so fun. And I'm having a blast so far. I'm very happy with my purchase, and thank you to everybody that mentioned, dude, you got to go buy this game. It's so fucking fun. You're going to love it. So it's on the channel if you guys want to go check that stuff out. As always, there's plenty to keep you entertained. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications as well. We are nearing 98,000 subscribers here on the podcast. I just feel it. I feel that 100,000 very, very soon. And according to the analytics, we're going to be going to 100,000 by the end of October. So if you guys can certainly push me towards that goal, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, that's at JD from NY206, and hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for all notifications. Another shout out here. I want to shout out my newest $10 Patreon or $10 patron, and his name is Ich Don't Think So. Oh, Ich Don't Think So. ICH Don't Think So. $10 donation, man. $10 pledge on the Patreon. Thank you so much, brother. As well as Aaron Benjamin, Ty, and Walk with the Seahawks this week. Those are my newest patrons on patreon.com. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to support the show, you can certainly do that, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. You guys know the deal. We got 17 different designs there on the shop. The best looking t-shirts in the podcasting game exists on my online shop, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use the code BSHOP20 for 20% off your entire purchase, man. You can reuse that code anytime you want and go get yourself some damn good looking merchandise, man, and support the show while you're at it. Harry's, you guys know the deal, man. Harry's.com/script. They are going to give you guys a free trial shave set, and all you have to do is sign up. Pay shipping and handling, $2 or $3 most, and you're going to have a free trial shave set by Harry's delivered right to your front door, man. You're going to get a razor blade, a handle, a protective case, and the shave gel, which soothes, hydrates, and it smells fantastic, man. Once you put that gel on your face, you're going to feel a tingling sensation, and in the back of your mind, you're going to be like, damn, JD was right about this. The blade hasn't even touched my face, and I'm loving it already, man. This will be the best shave of your life, and Harry's wants to prove that to you by giving you guys a free trial shave set. I guarantee you guys, once you use this trial, you are going to go out and buy the rest of their products. Once you use this trial, you are going to think, just like me, this is the best shave of my life. I've been using Harry's for 6 months now, and I haven't thought about using anything else at all, man. And they believe so much that they know you're going to have a good shave. They want to give it to you and let you experience Harry's for free, man. Harry's.com/script. Go and do that. Great way to support the show, and I want to thank Harry's for being such a fine sponsor of the show. They're going to be running with me all through the holiday season. Same thing with Audible, man. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys are going to get 30 days free of Audible and a free audiobook just for signing up. Over 200,000 choices to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related, any genre that your heart desires. And if you guys want to cancel within the 30-day grace period, you certainly can do so without being charged, and you will still get to keep your audiobook for free. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys want to see me tonight, I will be at the Queensboro Elks Lodge in Queens. I'll be there early like I always am because I'm always like a little kid in a candy store when it comes to these events, man. We got House of Glory happening at the Queensboro Elks Lodge, and it's going to be a damn good show, man. MJF and his talents are coming to House of Glory for the first time. He will be going one-on-one with Cashflow Ken Broadway. Anthony Gangone and the Amazing Red teaming up for the first time against Private Party. Red lost that brutal no-ropes match and now has to do everything that Anthony Gangone says via contract, and he will be going up. He will be forced to go up against two of his most beloved students in Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party, and Ohio versus Everything, OVE of Impact Wrestling, will be challenging the House of Glory Tag Team Championship champions to a championship match. LAX versus OVE in the main event of tonight's show, man. It's going to be fucking awesome. If you guys are going to be in town and you still want tickets, HOGWrestling.net. Come out to the Elks Lodge, man. It's always a intimate crowd. It's always a passionate crowd out at the Elks Lodge, and it's going to be no different tonight for House of Glory Chapter 3. So I hope to see you guys out there, and I do accept Corona and or Guinness. So I'll see you guys a little later at the Queensboro Elks Lodge for House of Glory. Let's get into the news, man. I got Shawn Michaels news today. And it's been rumored that Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement. It is a rumor no longer. He may be in Australia. He may be in the corner of Triple H. The Undertaker has announced that Kane will be in his corner in Australia during this last time ever match. But according to sources, this will not be the last time that The Undertaker and Triple H will be in a ring. Shawn Michaels will be putting on the tights, and he'll be coming out to that old school theme music that we all grew up loving, man. Shawn Michaels' in-ring return has been confirmed. Shawn Michaels nearly retired a decade ago, but it looks like everything is open for change. And right now, more so than any other time, the money in WWE is right for its performers. With everything that has transpired as of late, it seems like we will finally see an in-ring return of HBK. Now, according to Barn Burners Fired Up Podcast, Shawn Michaels would be teaming up with Triple H to face The Undertaker and Kane. That is what everybody was talking about when Kane was announced to be in The Undertaker's corner. That Saudi Arabia is coming up. That is where WWE is going. They're going to have all hands on deck for that show. They're going to want to make that show the biggest it could possibly be. This news was confirmed in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer appeared on Wrestling Observer Radio to clarify that this match is indeed the plan once again. He said this is something he's been talking about. However, it was indeed first mentioned via the Barn Burners Fired Up podcast. Now, only time will tell if WWE follows through with other reported plans for Michaels, which could see him wrestle up to 5 times. But previous reports on September 7th have certainly turned out to be something that is indeed taking place. So once again, you never know what could be down the line, especially for Shawn Michaels now, if the money is right. If Shawn Michaels makes a return to pro wrestling in any kind of active role, the line to face him will probably be out the door in any locker room in any promotion across the globe. But it looks like WWE could be preparing to make as many of those dream matches happen as possible. Now, again, according to the Barn Burner Fired Up podcast, they have some huge plans. They, meaning WWE, have some huge plans for Shawn Michaels if he returns to the ring that could see him wrestle, like I said, 5 times in the near future. They say, and I quote, they've heard that there are plans for him to wrestle up to 5 times, but not 5 times with The Undertaker. That would be a little ridiculous. It will be 1 with The Undertaker, 1 with AJ Styles, 1 with somebody in NXT, probably Johnny Gargano, being that Johnny Gargano was just interviewed by Cultaholic and Adam Pacitti, and Gargano mentioned HBK twice. He even played as HBK in the WWE 2K19 playtest. So you know where Johnny Gargano's heart lies in the matter. He wants Shawn Michaels, does Johnny Wrestling. And Shawn Michaels is very hands-on with Triple H with this whole Gargano-Ciampa feud. And Barn Burner Fired Up Podcast has also heard from a source that there is talk of him facing Kevin Owens as well. Now, they've also listed possibly Tommaso Ciampa in the matter. Now, I don't know if Tommaso Ciampa and Shawn Michaels would be on anybody's list with the amount that Ciampa has just grown in NXT since coming back. I mean, and the level of heel that he is, I think he would be a perfect match with Shawn Michaels. And you put Shawn Michaels in the middle of this Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa thing, I think that would be fantastic, man. Now, it looks like these series of dream matches for HBK, only time will tell if they will happen. And if this is the kind of thing that they're talking about backstage, it's certainly very exciting. But I would not jump the gun here. In my honest opinion, these other matches, the Styles, the Garganos, the Owens, the Ciampas, the Joes, these are all fantasy booking scenarios. These are people just using their brain and fantasizing about who they think would be great in the ring with Shawn Michaels. Realistically, if Shawn Michaels is coming back, you're only going to do what you need to do in Australia. You're going to do what you need to do at the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. And then after that, maybe he does Survivor Series. I don't know where WWE wants to put The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Clearly, the Survivor Series has a synonymous feel to The Undertaker. That was his debut in the WWE. But if The Undertaker is going to retire, he's going to retire at the event that he pretty much made. He made WrestleMania with the streak. And that's where you're going to do that match. So you're going to go from Australia to Saudi Arabia and then to WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. Where WWE wants to plug Shawn Michaels in between Saudi Arabia, Survivor Series possibly, and then WrestleMania, I don't know. But if Shawn Michaels is coming back, yes, the money is right. But I think 5 times you're kind of treading territory in which it's going to tarnish the comeback. We all want to see Shawn Michaels wrestle. But realistically, one has to think, how well at his age is he going to be able to wrestle? He's not going to be the HBK that we've seen at WrestleMania 25. He's not. And if anybody's thinking that, you're foolish. I would rather at this point, and yes, money's going to be made, and I'm not telling him not to go make his money. Shawn Michaels is making upwards of $1 million per show here. WWE has the resources to pay him. Some people don't even make $1 million a year contracted to be a performer in this company. And guys like Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar are making upwards of $1 million plus just for an appearance for these shows. Because these shows are pumping a lot of money into WWE, and WWE needs to give back. But I think if you're doing 5 times, you're really treading, just tarnishing the entire experience. And if Michaels is coming back, it should be yes for the money. He should be definitely rewarded for a comeback and to be coaxed out of retirement. But on the same hand, you got to keep it special. You don't want to overwhelm people with Shawn Michaels, then it's not going to feel special anymore. Australia is fine. Saudi Arabia with the tag team match is fine. If Saudi Arabia wasn't happening, I wish WWE wouldn't book it in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel. That match screams Survivor Series. Survivor Series hasn't felt special in years. Can you imagine what a tag team match like that would do for the Survivor Series? The Brothers of Destruction versus D-Generation X in 2018. Especially with the synonymous feel that Survivor Series and The Undertaker have. But Crown Jewel is a priority over Survivor Series because of the Saudi government pumping so much money into WWE. They're going to give back to those people because those people have given a lot financially to WWE. So I'm saying Australia, Crown Jewel, and then WrestleMania. The Garganos, the Ciampas, the Styles, yeah, it's all great. But the only way I want you guys to go see those matches is by simulating them in WWE 2K19. That's that. That's how I feel about that. But the in-ring return is confirmed. It's confirmed. It's going to happen. It was confirmed. I even tweeted. It was confirmed the moment The Undertaker mentioned Kane being in his corner. Simple. Now, how much money are Brock Lesnar and Shawn Michaels making for Crown Jewel? I got the inside scoop here. Brock Lesnar's Hell in a Cell appearance meant that he isn't leaving WWE just yet. After all, Paul Heyman did say on Raw after SummerSlam that Lesnar wanted another title shot, but Kurt Angle wouldn't let it happen. So he figured, let me destroy the cage door and go and destroy everybody with broken pieces of table. Now, while he's training for a UFC fight, Lesnar will lace up his boots once again and wrestle, but he's not doing it for free. Clearly, Lesnar does nothing for free. Lesnar doesn't even breathe for free in and around WWE. Every breath that Lesnar makes, he's making money. Just think about that. Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live this week that there is a preposterous amount of money. I love that word, man. Preposterous amount of money being talked about for the Saudi Arabia shows. This is obviously enough to keep Lesnar around and bring Shawn Michaels out of a 10-year retirement. It ain't $1 million. I don't know how much these guys each are getting, but I do know when Brock resigned after WrestleMania, it was for a 7-figure deal for 2 matches. So I'm sure it's probably another 7-figure deal for a match in Saudi Arabia. It's a multi-million-dollar deal. I don't know how much it is, but it's more than $1 million. It was noted that both HBK and Lesnar are likely getting over $1 million for another match, which isn't out of the realm of possibility considering how much cash Saudi Arabia is shelling out to WWE. Lesnar is back, although we don't really know how long he will be around. People are suggesting that after the Saudi Arabian show in Crown Jewel for the Universal Championship, he will be gone and he will be off to the UFC to train because he is eligible to come back in January or February to go against Daniel Cormier. Now, hopefully we will be able to see everything that goes down in Saudi Arabia if they can arrange to get it on the WWE Network. It is on the WWE Network. That was announced on Monday. So that is going to be all set and good to go. Although a UFC return isn't out of the cards, as reported by Barnburner, Lesnar is expected to work for both companies moving forward. So WWE is going to utilize Brock Lesnar where available while he does his thing in UFC. Mike Johnson expanded on Lesnar's status with WWE during PW Insider Elite Audio this week while he discussed the fact that Lesnar was spotted in New York City for meetings 2 weeks ago, but he couldn't confirm why Brock Lesnar was in town. But now he is expected to be more of a face in the WWE than first thought when he dropped the Universal Championship to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Mike Johnson says, and I quote, "I tend to believe that unless something happens that would keep Brock from fighting, we'll see Brock fight in the octagon again. And we'll probably see him wrestle for WWE at least at major events going forward, at least in the short-term future." End quote. Therefore, you can probably look at all the big events WWE has lined up, and it might be a good idea to factor Brock Lesnar into those plans. After all, if WWE and UFC could figure out a way to share Brock Lesnar, he could work for both companies while he wrestles once in a while and continues to train for whatever his next fight in the UFC is, which at this time is supposedly Daniel Cormier. And with John Jones, I believe, trying to make a comeback, that match was teased as well. I'm sure that will end up happening in the octagon as well. So Lesnar will be back in the UFC. Lesnar is clearly still with the WWE. He's going to be doing double duty, but the amount of money that he's making for one show, upwards towards $1 million plus for 15 minutes of his day. That is crazy. 15 minutes of in-ring action, man. And then the same goes for Shawn Michaels. You know, Shawn Michaels didn't want to come out of retirement because he wanted to do something that a lot of people in this industry don't do, stay retired. And he even mentioned that he stayed retired for The Undertaker because of The Undertaker's legacy and how important it is to him. But $1 million to come back and, you know, WWE's going to tack on $1 million. Shawn Michaels is going to make more money than I can't even say, man. He's going to make more money in this next 6 month span more so than the last 10 years of his fucking life. So it's just ridiculous to even fathom. Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. Lesnar, HBK making over $1 million each for these appearances, for these major stadium events for WWE. I did mention WWE 2K19. And one of the things that a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Tommaso Ciampa is not in WWE 2K19. Now, I am disappointed because if Ciampa was in the game, I would make him the face of whatever show I utilize in universe mode. That is no question. If I was to pick a number one draft pick, it would be Tommaso Ciampa. But there is a reason, according to Brian Alvarez, that Tommaso Ciampa is not in the game. Now, we all know that he's not in the 2K19 video game. This was speculated on Wrestling Observer Live. And it's been reported that Brian Alvarez did some digging this week, since he has a pretty good reason at this point why the current NXT champion is not in the game. It turns out that, as with everything, timing is everything, and it just didn't work out for Ciampa because he was injured during the time that 2K was putting this game together, so he was not going to be in the game. As Alvarez explained what he found out during Wrestling Observer Live. I quote, this is from Brian Alvarez. "I have not heard from Tommaso Ciampa, and 2K did not answer when I requested information about this, but I did have somebody in WWE who speculated, so let me make this very clear. This is speculation. But he speculated that based on history, their speculation was that the reason Tommaso Ciampa is not in WWE 2K19, and I can say with 99.9% certainty, he's not going to be in the game. He's not going to be a character that comes out later. He's not in 2K19 in any form. It was based on speculation history that the reason he's not in the game is because when they did production of the game last year, he was out with injury because historically, if you are out with an injury while they're in production of the game, you don't end up in the game. For example, Jason Jordan is out right now. He's probably not going to be in WWE 2K20. But that's what I was told about Tommaso. It's not some scandal. It's not him trying to be a heel. That's just the story I was told. End quote. Fans might call attention to the fact that other injured superstars have ended up in the game before, like Daniel Bryan, but it seems that historically this might be a good reason why Tommaso Ciampa will be missing from this year's installment. I call bullshit. Nikki Cross wasn't hurt, and Nikki Cross is not in the game as well. So what do they have excuse-wise for Nikki Cross? Nikki Cross has been an active member of the WWE roster in NXT. Even when Sanity got called up, or called down, or demoted, and Nikki Cross stayed with NXT, she's not in the game. So, this reason is a bullshit reason. If WWE 2K wanted Champa in the game, they could have easily flown him. Listen, Champa was at WrestleMania. Most of the screening and the scanning happens that weekend, as periodically shown throughout the years. If WWE 2K and 2K games wanted Ciampa in the game, they certainly would have added Ciampa in the game. The guy was ready to come back. He was on the men's to come back earlier in the year, January. We seen him at TakeOver in January. The last game was only out 3 months at that point. So if they wanted Ciampa in the game, they certainly could have put Ciampa in the game. This is a bullshit reason. But it's not a complete negative. It's not. You know, if WWE at least puts the names of his first and last name in the game, into the creator character suite. Tommaso Ciampa. As long as you got JoJo saying his name for an introduction, we can apply that to the creator character. I'm sure one of these multi-talented guys in the community who do graphics and creative characters, and that's what they do on YouTube. They model characters better than what you see in the game. Somebody, without question, day one, is going to create a Tommaso Ciampa creative character. So, it's not like he's not going to be in the game. He's going to be in the game. And probably look better than what WWE could have probably done with Ciampa. But if I can be a fan for 1 second, I would love the fact of Ciampa requesting himself to not be in the game, because that's how much of a heel he is. I would love if Ciampa went to 2K and said, I don't want to be in the game. I don't want to be anything. I don't want to be anywhere near the game. I don't want anything to do with the game. I don't want to be associated with anything. Why? Because he's that much of a heel. And he gave a good reason on Twitter. He's like, the champ doesn't lose. And I'm not going to be in the game for you to, control me and lose. I'm not going to lose to your Johnny Wrestling. I'm not going to lose to any of your other heroes. The champ doesn't lose. So, by that account, I am not going to be in the game. I hope that is the reason. Because if it is, that is one of the most dick-like heel moves anybody could possibly do. And it would fit perfectly into the character that he portrays right now on NXT TV. I love it. But the fact that he's not in the game is because he's injured? Come on now. The guy was able to walk. The guy was able to do stuff in January when Johnny lost to Almas. He came in at the end of the show and hit Johnny with a crutch. Now you want to tell me that he was injured and he couldn't be in the game. Nikki Cross wasn't hurt. Nikki Cross, as far as I know, was never hurt. But she's not in the game either. So I call bullshit on this speculation. Whatever it is with 2K, sometimes 2K just wants to keep things so secretive, they don't want to give you the reason. Just tell us the fucking reason. Why wasn't he in the game? We fucked up. We forgot. They won't actually come out and say, yeah, we forgot. How the fuck can you forget Ciampa? Seriously. Maybe the goons in 2K really don't like the product. I don't know. Maybe they didn't realize Ciampa was part of the roster. Maybe they forgot about him. He went under the radar. Oh, we forgot about him. Come on, man. Now you ain't forgetting about him. Why? Because he's literally the best thing on fucking TV. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. I found that to be hilarious. Something big happened this week, man. Matt Hardy reportedly retired from in-ring competition. Now, I didn't report on this when it happened because it's not a major story. JD, how could you say Matt Hardy retirement is not a major story? Because Matt Hardy's not going to retire. In my eyes, Matt Hardy is not retired. Matt Hardy is hurt. Matt Hardy is going to the hospital to get fixed. He's banged up. He wants to get healthy again before he does anything wrestling related again. This time in a minimal role. It's not going to be on Monday Night Raw every week limping. He looked awful. He looked absolutely fucking awful. And I mean that in the best possible way. The guy couldn't move. His pain emanated off the screen. It jumped out at you how much in pain this guy was. But Matt Hardy apparently retires from in-ring competition. He's entertained millions of fans throughout his pro wrestling career. We've all watched his journey with interest. He's taken off on many different personas as the latest Woken Matt Hardy, which appeared in WWE after a long legal battle with Anthem Sports, who own the rights to the Broken Universe. But Hardy recently announced that fans wouldn't see him wrestle as Woken Matt Hardy again, and he is going home to be with his wife and sons. It certainly seemed to be a retirement to most. It was noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, that while it is unlikely if Hardy's treatment goes well, we will see him wrestle again. Hardy wouldn't say that he wrestled his last match in Corpus Christi, Texas, or what Solid Monster says is Corpses Christi, because you guys are fucking absolutely horrendous every time they go there. He didn't wrestle his last match in Corpus Christi, Texas, but he felt like it probably would be, quote unquote. Hardy's final match at this point was a triple threat tag team match where he and Bray teamed up to face Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler and the B Team. After Bo Dallas took the pinfall in their match, they allowed Hardy to stay in the ring so he could share a moment with the fans. Matt Hardy's last match was not an untelevised event at some fucking lame house show. Matt Hardy is not going to retire on YouTube. Come on, people. Are you serious about Matt Hardy retiring in the most lamest way possible? Matt Hardy is going to come back when he's healthy, and Matt Hardy is going to have another small run, and Matt Hardy is going to go out the way Matt Hardy deserves to go out. Not in Corpus Christi, Texas, on a house show where we weren't able to see it. Matt Hardy will be back eventually when he gets healthy. Simple as that. I don't believe why people are upset about this. People are reporting that this is it for Matt Hardy. Of course not. How could you say it is? Matt Hardy is not going out that way. Now, do I think Matt Hardy stays with the WWE? Absolutely. He ain't going anywhere else. And I know Impact is doing good things, and Don Callis and Scott D'Amore have turned that place into a place that is attractive for talents to go to. And I'm actually very excited for Bound for Glory, man. I'm going to be watching Bound for Glory. Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo versus Austin Aries. Come on, man. Another Pentagon and Sami Callihan confrontation. Should be great, man. It's going to be Callihan and his boys, and OVE, versus Pentagon Phoenix and Brian Cage. Man, I'm pumped for Bound for Glory. I'm kind of salty that I reached out to Don Callis and he didn't get back to me about tickets, but it is what it is, man, because I seen him at Starrcade, but that's neither here nor there. I'll be watching, and I'll be doing a review on it, because the last event I covered, Slammiversary, was fucking great. I enjoyed myself, and I'm going to be doing the same thing here with Bound for Glory, but Matt Hardy's not going to Impact. Matt Hardy's not going to wrestle in New Japan or Ring of Honor. Matt Hardy's staying with the WWE. And Matt Hardy could still be an invaluable asset to WWE. You know, instead of giving to the WWE with his body, Matt Hardy can now give to the WWE with his mind. But sometimes that really doesn't work out to the best, or for the best. You know, WWE likes to handcuff creative minds because there's only one mind that wants to do what they want to do, and that's Vince McMahon. I don't think WWE will allow Matt Hardy to be as creative as he wants to be or as creative as we know he can be. And we all know that Matt Hardy is a creative mind. But I think he could be valuable. He could be a huge asset to WWE. They already got him training in a producer's role backstage. Can you imagine the mind of a Matt Hardy with some sort of ladder match? Or the mind of a Matt Hardy when it comes to tag team wrestling and tag team psychology? That is a invaluable asset to WWE. And I hope that they realize that. But have we seen the end of Matt Hardy? Of course not. Of course not. If this was the end of Matt Hardy, I'd be here listing his accomplishments and telling you how much I wish him the best. I do wish him the best. I still wish him the best. But I wish him to get back to a state in which he is happy and comfortable and able to compete, because he isn't retiring in Corpus Christi, Texas. He's not going to retire on some lame fucking house show. Come on now. Matt Hardy might have semi-retired, but he's going to get better. He's going to try and get healthy, and he will be back. And maybe we'll see the broken gimmick and the broken universe. Maybe he put the woken stuff to bed and killed it. Maybe we see the broken stuff back on WWE television. Possible signs that WWE may air Starrcade. Starrcade on the WWE Network. WWE surprised a few people when they announced the 2018 Starrcade event, and the location was not in the Carolinas. Cincinnati, Ohio will be the home of the next WWE Starrcade event on November 26th, as tickets go on sale on September 21st. As of yesterday, they are on sale. So anybody in the Cincinnati, Ohio region, if you guys are listening to me, let me know if you have bought tickets to Starrcade. I keep stopping myself because I accidentally think I'm going to be saying Starrcast and not Starrcade. Starrcade. But the looming question here is whether or not WWE will air Starrcade from the US Bank Arena this year on the WWE Network. Since they didn't air it last year, they might be up for the possibility this year to air it on the network. And according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite Audio on his show, there are a couple of telltale signs that WWE might be planning on airing the event as a special on the WWE Network this time around. I quote from Mike Johnson here, "I also asked if Starrcade would be airing on the network on November 26th, and my gut feeling is that maybe it will. Because the primary top ticket is $315 for ringside seats at a price they don't charge that big of a premium for ringside seats for WWE house shows. That means to me, since it's Starrcade and it's branded as such, that it will be some sort of television event, and they will have the take-home chairs that everybody gets to take home when they sit ringside at a pay-per-view. So my gut feeling is that Starrcade will air live on the WWE Network this year." He did note that he's wanting to hear back from WWE and waiting to hear back, but Johnson did make a very good point about the pricing. Now, only time will tell what WWE does. After all, they could essentially air every house show on the WWE Network if they wanted to, but with a card like that one, and with something that they have lined up for Starrcade, they might want to air it just in case we get a big title change in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I think it's going to air on the network. I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say were outraged last year, but they questioned why it wasn't on the network. Being that it's such a big named event and it's not on the network. And WWE actually sends out questionnaires about WWE house shows. Do you want to see WWE house shows on the WWE Network? Not every house show. That would be overwhelming. I don't want to see every fucking house show on the WWE Network. But for major events in major cities, like when they come to Madison Square Garden in the summertime for the SummerSlam Sizzle Tour or the SummerSlam Heatwave Tour or whatever the fuck they're calling it, and they go to Madison Square Garden early in the summer before they hit SummerSlam, I would like to see that on the network. They visit Madison Square Garden twice a year, once in the summer and then once for the holidays, during Christmas. I would like to see that stuff on the network. Those shows are always promoted. Not on TV, but through various outlets and various commercials and various billboards that we see in and around the city. I mean, for the WWE hyped The Undertaker returning to Madison Square Garden. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that? Who wouldn't want to watch that? When he teamed with Strowman and Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens, Elias, and somebody else. Jinder Mahal. Whoever. Of course people want to see that. You know? And I don't go to those shows. And everybody in and around the community that's in the city went to that show. So if I don't go to that show and I want to be a part of it or feel like I'm a part of it, I want to watch it at home. Same thing with this. You're not going to take what was one of WCW's biggest shows of the year, if not its biggest show of the year, and then not air it on the WWE Network. I think it's going to air on the network just based on what people said about it last year and how disappointed fans were last year about the event. Now, I would actually add Starrcade into the primary WWE Pay Per View calendar. I would put it on in December like we seen it in WCW. Fuck these gimmick pay-per-views, man. TLC and Hell in a Cell and all this other garbage. Money in the Bank. Starrcade should be one of those major events that WWE really brings back to prominence. Puts it at the end of the year. Then we get into the Royal Rumble. That's what I would do. Get rid of these gimmick shows and make the pay-per-view fucking special again. Same thing with Halloween Havoc. Now, October is filled up with Super Showdown and Evolution, and then 5 days after that, we got the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. But I would love to see Halloween Havoc come back on WWE television. I love the theme of that pay-per-view. Make it very Halloween-esque. Those old Halloween Havoc sets were gorgeous. If you blow up pumpkins, some spider webs, some fucking white smoke, a few haunted houses. But this is WWE in 2018. They don't spend money on sets. They're making all these types of money from various countries and in these various stadium shows, but they won't update their fucking pay-per-view sets. They only update it for WrestleMania. Everything else is just like a fucking throwaway show. Everything else is like a fucking Monday Night Raw set. It's fucking boring. That's why pay-per-view doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore. It just comes off as just another show. But Starrcade, I would bring back to the WWE calendar. Really. And I mentioned this several fucking times already. Money in the Bank, listen, Money in the Bank has had some great events. Money in the Bank has had some great matches on its own as a pay-per-view. But I would put Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. That should have been a yearly WrestleMania event. And Money in the Bank, where it sits in July now, or June, right? What is it, June? I would do a Bash at the Beach, or a Great American Bash, or better yet, why don't we do a fucking King of the Ring? You know? And then in July, we get Bash at the Beach. August, SummerSlam. The biggest party of the summer, right? The ending of the summer. And then we get into September, we do Night of Champions. And then we do October, Halloween Havoc. And then November, Survivor Series. And then December, Starrcade. And rinse and repeat. Royal Rumble, The Chamber, WrestleMania, go on and so forth. That's what I would do. And then you could fill in these stadium shows, these special events, which are not going away anytime soon. So, WWE, you know, I wish they would make pay-per-view feel special again, but they refuse to do so because pay-per-view honestly means nothing. We see bigger events happening on Monday Night Raw than we do on pay-per-view. And these pay-per-views are fucking... Just case in point, what happened at Hell in a Cell. The fucking Hell in a Cell main event was Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, and it ends in a no fucking contest. Do you think if WWE had pay-per-view to a point where it meant something that they would put on a fucking match and give you an ending like that? Come on, man. Just by that fact and aspect alone, pay-per-view means nothing. They can get away with that. They're charging $9.99 for these pay-per-views. They mean nothing. Who's buying a pay-per-view at $64? Imagine if the network wasn't around and you had to pay $64 in HD to watch these shows and WWE gave you an ending like that. There would be outrage like you wouldn't believe. There was outrage now, but the outrage is aimed towards how shitty WWE creative is and how illogical the people running this company really are. But can you imagine if WWE gave you an ending like that and the network wasn't around? That's why we get what we get, because we're paying only $9.99 for the network. So WWE can get away with giving you a fucking ending like that. And they can get away giving you bullshit fucking pay-per-views that just have rinse and repeat the same fucking matches every single fucking month. There was no difference coming from Money in the Bank till SummerSlam. None. None. Absolutely nothing. It was ridiculous. Extreme Rules and SummerSlam had a handful of the same fucking matches. That's why we get what we get. But Starrcade, it's not going to be any different. You think WWE's going to line this show up as some fucking major event? No. It's going to be booked as a house show. It's going to feel like a house show, and they might air it on the network. Whatever you see here is going to be whatever we've been seeing, just with some sort of stipulation or some fucking legend coming back. The Rock and Roll Express versus whomever, you know. It's going to be one of those nostalgia pay-per-views that really it doesn't factor into storyline. So it's a waste, but a lot of people want to see it because of the history and the meaning behind the event. It's a dusty event, you know? So, Mike Johnson and the possible signs of Starrcade might being on the network, there is a good chance. But then again, just think about this. We got the Super Showdown, we got Evolution, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and then this would be taking place on November 26th. So that's 5 days after Survivor Series. 5 days. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. Speaking of Madison Square Garden, I did mention Madison Square Garden, man. There was this fucking bizarre rumor going around that Vince McMahon was set to meet with Madison Square Garden officials this week about Ring of Honor. What the fuck would Vince McMahon be meeting with Madison Square Garden officials for? Is he getting ready to pull the plug on Ring of Honor G1 Supercard? Is he going to exile Ring of Honor New Japan from coming into Madison Square Garden? That's a lot of fucking refunds you gotta give away. 19,000 seats sold. What's gonna happen? Does Vince McMahon have the power to pull Ring of Honor New Japan from Madison Square Garden? Well, there's a rumor killer. I don't know where this rumor got started. Whoever started this rumor is a complete fucking imbecile. But there is a rumor killer, if you guys have heard this, on the Vince McMahon meeting with Madison Square Garden officials about New Japan Ring of Honor. Now, we all know Ring of Honor, Madison Square Garden, New Japan is getting ready to host a huge show, the G1 Supercard, during WrestleMania weekend to go directly up against TakeOver, which will be TakeOver Brooklyn 5. Now, WWE clearly knows what's going on here. New Japan, Ring of Honor, got the attention of WWE. They are running a show in WWE's traditional New York City home during their biggest week of the year. Now, as previously reported, Vince McMahon flew into New York City in order to meet with Madison Square Garden officials. But Barn Burners Fired Up Podcast, who broke this story, had to retract their account of what went down. The people on that show wanted to make things very clear in the opening moments of Monday's show. And I quote, this comes from Joe of the Barn Burners Fired Up Podcast. It has come to my attention, he says, that I was attributed to the news where I reportedly stated Vince McMahon was going to have a meeting with the people in Madison Square Garden. That meeting did not happen. Vince McMahon is not having a meeting with anybody at Madison Square Garden or anything like that. I'm sorry for any miscommunication. I'm sorry for anything that was wrong, and myself, 100%, Barn Burner was attributed to it. Apparently it was wrong, so I apologize, end quote. So, it looks like at this time there is no meeting between Vince McMahon and MSG that actually took place. As always, please take everything you read with a grain of salt. And don't really listen and put full stock into anything unless somebody with a credible name is reporting it. Now, why would Vince McMahon try? Why would Madison Square Garden even allow Vince McMahon to talk about this? It's a done deal. The show was announced. The building has been set. The show has been sold out. There's nothing Vince McMahon can do. Vince McMahon is going to now go to Plan B of attack. And Plan B of attack is his open checkbook when Omega, Matt, and Nick Jackson, Cody Rhodes, are free agents. That is his next plan of attack here. So for whatever they got going on, WWE has to live with the fact that Madison Square Garden is going to be directly competing with one of their events that weekend. It being NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 5. Vince McMahon is going to attack in another way. And like I said, he's going to attack with the almighty dollar. That's all he's going to do there. I'm going to end with this one, guys, because we are nearing an hour here. We are nearing an hour on part 2 of Off the Script, and I got to save some for part 3. Kota Ibushi is apparently open to working with WWE. Now, Kota Ibushi obviously is one of the most well-known superstars to not be signed by the WWE. And he competes with New Japan. He has aligned himself with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, and the rest of the Bullet Club and the rest of the Elite. Back in 2016, Ibushi competed in the Cruiserweight Classic and actually made it to the finale, where he was defeated by TJ Perkins, who would later have his name shortened to TJ Perkins, or just TJ, or TJP. They shortened his name to TJP. So, Ibushi was the favorite to win the Cruiserweight Classic, but he never signed a full-time deal with the WWE. Instead, that was given to TJ Perkins, who obviously went on and did nothing from that tournament. But as we have talked about Ibushi and the WWE in the past, Ibushi is not under any form of contract right now and works solely as a freelancer and is an independent worker in the scene. So, in an update to this story, Dave Meltzer has confirmed this week on Twitter that Ibushi is actually open to working with the WWE. The kick here is that Meltzer claims Ibushi won't sign a contract with Vince McMahon's company, and I don't blame him whatsoever. Rather, the New Japan Icon would be open to working with the company on a date-by-date basis, but would not be held down to restraints imposed on other competitors due to contracts. Given the entire nature of WWE's developmental process and their restrictions with talent, it is unlikely Ibushi would find himself back in the WWE unless he and WWE came to some lucrative deal. It is worth noting that superstars such as Mickie James have competed for WWE while not under contract, as have thousands of enhancement talents over the years. It is unknown if WWE would go that route with Ibushi with his contract. If any more news comes on becomes available on this between WWE and Ibushi, I will definitely let you guys know. You know, last time we've seen some type of working agreement with a New Japan talent was with Jushin Liger at TakeOver Brooklyn when he went against Tyler Breeze. Now, could I see that happening for a TakeOver show? Absolutely. I could certainly see that happening for a TakeOver show. I could see Triple H calling up Kota Ibushi and wanting him to be in the ring with literally anybody there. It could be against an Aleister Black or a Velveteen Dream or a Tommaso Ciampa. Anybody, really. Matt Riddle. Anybody that's currently contracted to NXT right now. I could certainly see Triple H doing that. Vince McMahon, not so much, because Vince doesn't give a fuck about Kota Ibushi. Vince wouldn't even know what to do with Kota Ibushi at all. Kota Ibushi would be completely wasted on the main roster. I'm glad he didn't go to 205 Live. That would have been fucking miserable. Completely miserable. Kota Ibushi is going to remain as an open contractor for whatever he does. That's the right way to go about it. A guy like that would be completely wasted in WWE. A guy like that loves what he does, and money is not the most important thing to him. But I could certainly see Triple H calling Kota Ibushi. You want to come and do a show? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm also hearing WWE is interested in Bandido. And I watched some highlights of Bandido, who was actually in the main event of All In with Rey Mysterio and Phoenix against the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi. WWE is now interested in Bandido. I wonder why. I watched highlights of this guy. Unreal. Unreal is Bandido. What would they do with Bandido? Maybe Bandido is the next best option because Phoenix is not going to be readily available right now for WWE. I don't know. But we will see what happens, man. WWE is going to be associated with every fucking name on the indie. Every name that's available. Every name that has a fucking free agent, listing next to their contract. Or on their contract. Guy's a free agent. WWE's going to be there. WWE's going to be calling these guys, offering them money. And just to whisk them away so they don't go anywhere else and make a name for themselves somewhere else and give another promotion some spotlight. And maybe WWE is genuinely afraid of what's to come with the Young Bucks and and Kenny Omega. Maybe they have a feeling that, listen, we're not going to be able to get these guys. They're not going to come. They're not going to sign with us. So we got to do everything else we can to grab everybody else. Because if they do go into business for themselves and they do open a promotion, start their own promotion, then WWE is certainly going to want to beat them to the punch. So we'll see what happens, man, with all these talents. Kota Ibushi, I think he'll work with the WWE again in some, one-off deal. Triple H more than likely will be conducting that deal. Bandido, I read today that WWE's interested in Bandido. What they do with him, I don't know. Like I said, could be, a plan B for the fact that they can't get Phoenix. So we'll see what happens, man. But Kota Ibushi reportedly open to working with the WWE. And I'm getting out of here, man. I got a House of Glory show I got to get ready for. Thank you guys so very much for all your support here on Off the Script. If you did enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Let's try for 1,500 likes today on part 2. Thank you guys so very much for everything. I will see you guys for part 3. Not sure if I'm going to be uploading on Sunday. I might be doing part 3 on Monday for you guys because tomorrow I'm going to upload Spider-Man. And we'll do whatever else I can because I know with House of Glory, my voice is probably going to be shot. So doing a show on Sunday might not be the most ideal situation for me. So I might wait till Monday and get some rest and just hit the Off the Script Part 3 on Monday. So thank you guys so very much for everything. If you missed any of my other content, check out the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Leave a thumbs up. Very, very, very important. Leave a comment down below as well. Also, very, very, very important. Let me know what you guys think of the top stories here on Off the Script. And I will see you all right back here on Part 3 whenever we do that on Monday afternoon. Thank you guys so very much. I'll see you all, if you're coming tonight, to House of Glory Chapter 3 at the Elks Lodge, the Queenborough Elks Lodge. And I'll see you guys there. And then I'll see you right back here on Monday for Part 3 of Off the Script, episode 240. I'll talk to you later.